Hello and welcome to Season of War. Coming back at you tonight with another exciting Age of Sigmar battle report. Some more elf on elf action. Actually, quick note on that. So wanted to get Deepkin back on the table. Just with some of the new rules, get some more battle reports out. There's obviously been lots of interest with the new updates from the Marathi book, so getting them back here. And then your army today was voted on by our premium subscribers on YouTube. So they actually got to choose what faction or what army you were playing today. And they chose to see the Lumineth on the table again and a rematch of a matchup we've played twice now. Both games going to Lumineth, the first two. So hopefully Deepkin are able to get their revenge here. Do you want to take us through the mission and matchup today?
All right. Playing Battle for the Pass. Your opponent's objective is worth 4. The middle two objectives are worth 2. Mm-hmm. Your own objective is worth 1. Obviously, being Lumineth and slow, getting over to yours is going to be a challenge. But now we're playing in the realm of Ghur. So everything has the deadly terrain feature, which we totally both forgot about it when we were deploying. Yeah. So let's roll no ones or lots of ones over here. Anyways, the spell is a +2 to run and charge spell, and then the command ability is to let a monster, which just Teclis in this game,
the only monster on the board.
Fight it without any bracketing, essentially. So yeah, cool.
Obviously, we chose Ghur today rather than rolling randomly because this is the channel debut of our newly finished terrain set. So obviously I was just working on getting this stuff all printed and painted up. These are 3D printed terrain pieces. Yes, Maverick. If you weren't already aware, we got these files from our buddies over at Printable Scenery. So I 3D printed these and then got them painted up in a week or so. So now obviously excited to get these on the table and hopefully some more tables and scenery in the future. Talking about our premium members and the new terrain, obviously, we actually have a number of goals we've set in terms of growing our channel membership with you guys. And we're nearing our first goal already, actually, which is super exciting. And that first goal is for us to expand our tables to get 2 new realms, so to speak. So new mats, new terrain sets, working on printing up probably an Elven one for Gyran, and probably let our premium members vote on the other realm that we had. So again, that's tied to kind of our premium membership as we grow that out. Obviously with your support, kind of adding stuff that you want to see to the channel and just continuing to make things bigger and better is the hope. So if you're interested in the premium membership, you can check out the join button below the video. That'll tell you all about it. There's a bunch of perks from obviously voting on armies. You get cool emoji and icons in the comments and whatnot, as well as input on when we expand realms and other channel decisions. We really often look for feedback from our premium members in terms of determining the direction of the channel. So continually looking for feedback from them. So if you're interested in being a part of the team, check it out. Otherwise, we've picked our auxiliary objectives for the mission. Do you want to take me through yours?
All right. I've chosen, I think, some off-the-wall ones that you wouldn't typically see. I chose Mass Panic. I feel like Lumineth can do some bravery shenanigans. So
especially, for me, I'm Bravery 6.
Yeah. And then Marked for Death. So you got to pick a non-hero unit that you want to keep alive.
Okay. I think I'm going to pick these 6 Morsar, because it has to be a unit on the table, I assume. And then your other was Mass Panic and Marked for Death. So 2 interesting ones. Again, you have the bravery thing is definitely in your favor.
Yeah.
I also picked 2 auxiliaries that I think are good for this matchup. The first being Headhunter, meaning I am going to try and kill all of your heroes, which in this list is just 2, exactly. Your Cathlar is super weak, so that shouldn't be a problem as long as I can get into them. Teclis, a little harder, but I've done it before, and I think I have a good shot at it, especially if I can play around the high tide and get in there in a effective kind of position. My second auxiliary that I chose was Defender for this match. as you already alluded to, you're going to have some trouble getting back to my objective.
Yeah.
So as long as you can't get there, defender means if I just have to finish the game without you having any units wholly within my territory. So if you're able to wipe me and go back there, in the end, then I won't score that one. But I've already lost the game at that point, so it's not the end of the world.
Yep.
In a tournament setting, they're still important for secondary scoring and rankings and whatnot. So it's still very important, but being optimistic that I won't get table, that you won't have stuff in my backfield. Otherwise, though, do you want to take me through your list for today?
All right, it's pretty typical to what we've run before for Lumineth. 3 units of Sentinels, 3 units of Wardens in equal number for the Orlan Legion Battalion. The Cathalar, part of the battalion. Teclis, because Teclis is badass. And then a unit of Dawn Riders as the only fast thing in the entire army. And then a collection of endless spells, Hishian Twinstones, Geminids, and the Deadly Spell Portal.
Yes. All right, well, yeah, pretty straightforward. I'm actually taking a list very similar to the one I took to the recent event we were at. I have, hero-wise, I have Volturnos, I have a Soul Scryer who's off the board, and then I have the Eidolon of the Storm with the Cloud of Midnight. Obviously, he got some buffs. I love him. Beautiful model, so excited to have him on the table. Then I have a unit of 6 Morsar Eels on the table, 6 off the table. 3 units of the defensive Ishlayan Eels on the table. And then I have 1 single Alopex here sitting in the back. And today, for the first time, I'm running the net on him. Just with only 1, the damage output isn't really helpful from the harpoon, so trying out the utility of the net, see if I can make that work in my favor.
That's no pile-in?
No pile-in. Only on my turn that I shoot them, and it's only if I hit. So I have 1 shot on a 3-up. We all know how unreliable 3-ups are, so we'll see if it really has an impact to this game. But having the battalion, you outdropped me, so you don't have choice of how we start this game.
I know in the past we've said that Lumineth don't always need to take first. Starting 24 inches apart. I really want to take first here.
It's tough. Pros and cons, right?
Yeah. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to take first.
Okay.
I'm not super happy with my deployment, and I want to be able to fix that. And I feel like moving some Dawn Riders on for some easy, unobstructed points is a good idea.
Yes. All right.
So I'll go first.
All right. With that, we'll be going into top of round 1 with Lumineth going first.
End of Lumineth turn 1, top of round 1. My speed of Hisht up. Dawn Riders managed to get onto the 2 objectives here, scoring me the 4 points plus my 1, so I'll take 5 this turn.
Nice.
I brought those Wardens back because I really don't need to cover the whole deployment with the objective being in the middle, so that was kind of a silly place to put them at the start of the game. I was thinking I would get them on the objective, but then realized the Dawn Riders could just cover both of them. So I brought them back. I shifted these guys over, screened out for Jordan's deep striking, sneaky stuff at the back of the board here. All my archers moved up like half an inch each to get into the range of the only things they're allowed to shoot anyways.
Yeah. Decently effective with your mortal wounds there.
Yeah, took 2 eels here, 1 eel there.
Yeah. And actually, just while we're at it, I have +1 bravery from Volturnos here, so they're fine in terms of battle shock. Those guys, though, however, I lost 2. They're outside of the range, so anything above a 4 and the last one will run, but it's my banner last, so I'll get to re-roll it. 4, he's fine. So okay. No re-rolls needed.
So it wouldn't have mattered, but we were saying off camera, it would have been nice to cast the -2 bravery spell because I chose Mass Panic, but there's just so many other good spells I didn't manage to fit it in.
But I also have a command point, so I could have made them immune if it was at risk of losing both.
Yeah, you would have just denied it from me, so better saved for later anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a better chance of it in future turns.
Yeah. But that's pretty much the end of mine. Well, I mean, it is the end of mine, but that's the end of what I did. So yeah, on to Jordan, and hopefully he doesn't get the double.
Well, we'll see. It'll be interesting. Whether I do, whether I don't, obviously I kind of always prepare not to have it, but if I can put myself in the position where I can capitalize if I get it, or I'm defensive enough if I don't, that's the sweet spot I want to try and put myself in. But with that, we'll be going into bottom of round 1 with Deepkin coming up. All right, so finishing up my turn, Deepkin turn 1. Obviously wanted to take care of your Dawn Riders and get on both of the objectives. Not hard to do. I didn't necessarily need to commit everything forward, but it's really putting the pressure on you, keeping you back in your zone right now. So I score a 5 to tie you for round 1. And again, I have a ton of pressure on you. You were just saying that you were worried that this priority roll could dictate the game. But I know, and we both know that Deepkin, like...
They don't hold up. Yeah.
They don't hold up. So you have the potential to chew through me, even if I get the double here. Because I'm not attacking first, so I'm not going to completely wipe stuff if I take the turn or anything. So, positioning, I'm in a great spot. Now, I risked all of my units, but I'm kind of in a position where I'm okay doing that. I can take 1 round of Searing White Light and be fine with it. So I know that might happen. So one thing that didn't go as I hoped was obviously this combat over here. Now, you'd used the Aether Quartz and a command point to do +2 to save. So that hurts me in terms of I didn't kill what I was expecting to, and I had decided not to use my shot at the beginning of combat, knowing it would have put you in range to reflect the -1 to bravery. Not the end of the world. I mean, you're going to have to do some tricks now. Would have killed me a few more guys. Wouldn't have wiped out the unit though, so...
I'd have had 1 or 2 left instead of...
Yeah, you wouldn't have been dealing as much damage back, but you still probably... after your D3 mortals at the start of combat, you still would have killed that one last guy, so... Not much would have changed, but really I just wanted to do more output. I hoped to clear them without having to use my shocks, so that I would have my shocks going into like Teclis or something.
Yeah.
Not the case, and actually Battle Shock there is going to be really important, so why don't you roll that up? You're obviously...
Hoping for a 2-up here.
Yeah, hoping for a 2-up.
Oh.
You got a 2.
2.
Just what you need.
So that'll put you at -5.
Yeah, so it makes them immune to their Battle Shock, where they would have been -5. I'm only -4 because you lost 4 guys. Oh, I lost 1. Yes, so -5. And I tried to charge my Soul Strider in, so I would be within range to do, just the command point immune to Battle Shock. Obviously not making the charge, I'm at 6.5 inches, so I'm outside of the range to do that. So I'm just going to have to roll it. Anything over a 1, and I lose guys, obviously I get the reroll from the banner.
6.
That's a 6. No reason not to roll that. Reroll that. A 6 again, and I would lose the whole unit. 3, so I'll lose 2 guys here. 1 and 2. Obviously losing any to Battle Shock is hugely disappointing. I could have easily left a die a half inch back, so that's my own fault. Overestimating what I was going to do to these guys with their +2 to save. I knew you had the potential to do it, but didn't go my way. Bad decision in the end. Obviously, with also not straining a guy back half an inch just to be immune here. But again, pressure's on, and I score 5 points here, so we're tied going into priority roll. So we'll see how it goes. You're going to win ties.
3.
I roll a 4. So I have a tough decision here. I think what might determine it. So you have 4 or 5 guys on this objective, where I could take that objective if I take the turn. Now, I actually would prefer to give away the turn here. I know I'm going to take damage. For the most part, I'm going to be okay. I might lose a guy or 2. But nothing too consequential. But the potential chance of taking this objective is actually really juicy. Now, one of the reasons I would be okay not taking the turn here is because I have my Eidolon. I didn't Cloud of Midnight. I'm going to take half to 2/3 of the shooting and just completely negate it. All you're going to be shooting at is these guys, which then leaves you no charge targets. So, I think I will, partly just because of this objective, but also because I have already lost 3 eels here. This unit, if I don't take the turn, is just kaput. You'll wipe them out between your casting damage and then in combat before I get to attack. So I think I'm going to take the turn just to preserve these guys here. Not ideal, but trying to back me into a corner. Obviously, now I'm going to get, I'm going to try and get into combat. So you'll have the turn, and then on your turn, you'll have another round of magic, but at least you'll be tied up in combat. So we'll be going into top of round 2 with Deepkin going first. Alright, so finishing up Deepkin turn 2. Again, coming into this turn, I decided to take it, go all in. Still that same conundrum of should I have given it away, played more defensive, or taking it, go all in. Again, felt like I had a good opportunity here, especially with the potential of taking this objective here. So that's big. Unfortunately, Teclis only has 4 wounds left on him. So I nearly killed Teclis. Obviously, you were to a 2-up save with your Aether Quartz, which really nullifies everything but my 2-round attacks.
Yeah.
Very close. Just 1 or 2 save rolls, right, is the difference. When you're on 4-ups, they can swing so hard either way. Managed to clean up these guys with the help of my defensive eels. And the shark chewed through a unit of sentinels on his own. Mm-hmm. So that was big.
Most of a unit of sentinels.
Most 8 out of 10. But we'll go into Battle Shock, and you have your stuff at the start of the Battle Shock phase.
All right. So on a 2-up, these guys are immune to Battle Shock. Oh, cocked. Oh.
That's a 1. So the big thing there, the reflect wouldn't be a big deal because I could...
Yeah, you just spend the command point.
Exactly.
It just saved you a command point.
Well, you'd still have to roll... Oh, no, they're -8, so they're definitely running. And you have no command points right now, right?
No.
So that's pretty big. I obviously would have to take a Battle Shock here. I lost 2 guys there on the charge from Teclis swinging back at them after.
And you're -1 from the...
And -1 from the Aether Quartz that you flipped onto them. So, at -3, that puts me on a 3 Battle Shock. There's no reason to risk it right here. Now it means if you do the 2 bravery spell or the -2 bravery spell, I wouldn't have 1 for next turn, but is it really a big difference whether I do it this turn or next turn? I don't think so. So I'll spend 1 command point to make sure they're immune to Battle Shock then, leaving me at 1 command point going into your turn. I obviously then store this one, which is really, I think, the big story, because I have 2, that puts me at, 2 for each of these, so 4, 8, 9 points for this round. Again, we know this is what Deepkin will do in this matchup, right? I can put the pressure on, score big early, but I really have to score enough to, at a point which you can't come back from, right? Because especially if you get the double turn after yours, you'll have the chance to tear through a lot of my stuff. So, not the greatest spot for me to be in. But with that, we'll be going to bottom of round 2 and Lumineth turn 2.
So, end of Lumineth, turn 2, bottom of round 2. Did a little Searing White Light to everything, chipped some wounds here and there. Cast a whole host of spells. I shot off the shark, almost killed the
single eel.
I moved these guys up and charged into the 3 eels left. I slayed one just with the hero's D3 at the start of combat, and then piled in and killed the other 2 with just the power of his mortal wounds. Didn't even need to roll my...
Importantly, staying outside of combat with the Eidolon.
Yeah. So I'll take the objective back, and I took this one, so I'll score 3. I feel like if I take the roll-off here, I've got a chance. If I lose the roll-off, Teclis is going to die, and...
That's the big thing right now, is I have to get Teclis down. If I don't, you're just going to have round after round of Searing White Light, and I think potentially grind me out.
Yeah.
Now, me being on this objective, a little harder, but now I have to kill them to take it back, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Big roll off. I roll a 3.
I got a 4.
All right. So it's yours.
Definitely taking it. See if I can claw this back points-wise, because I'm 8 to your 14.
Yes, you're down 6 right now. So.
Yeah.
Not insurmountable, though.
I'm scoring at least 3, but hopefully... No, I'm only scoring 3.
Yeah.
So I gotta just kill, so that I can score in the next couple of rounds.
Mm-hmm. All right, sounds good. So we'll be going into top of round 3 with Lumineth going first.
Okay, so Lumineth, turn 3, top of round 3. Not really as productive as I hoped to be. Searing White Light just didn't have it this turn.
You dealt some damage, but...
I killed the eel. He ignored the spell. He saved a couple eels.
Saved one.
From the boat. The other one, I killed that eel.
Yeah.
Um,
And actually, am I -2 bravery? Did you do that one this turn? No, I don't know. Because I'm fine because he's within the +1 aura, so losing 1 doesn't matter then.
yeah. You nullified my shooting by using Cloak of Midnight.
Yeah.
I shuffled these guys up. I didn't break Shining Company before, so I couldn't run them. They've now broken Shining Company. So next time I could beeline it for your objective.
Yeah.
The only thing I tried to do was charge the 3 inches into the Eidolon here, and I failed with double 1s.
Yeah.
That really hurts because I feel like I probably could have killed him. I mean, you would have got to go
It's
first.
very interesting. Because, I have the attack first, and then I have the 5-up ward save. So if I could have killed enough, there's a good chance that I still survive on 1 or 2 wounds left, right?
Yeah, but
you had the chance to kill him without much downside.
Using the double Aether Quartz, I could have hopefully tanked your 2 rend attacks, and then I did end up on a 2-up save on all your other no rend attacks.
Well, the other one's 1 rend, so
3-up save.
Yeah.
So hopefully I could have weathered that and popped him off with just the mortal wounds, but that's a moot point because not in range to reroll it.
Yeah.
And the 2 just did not cut it.
Yep. So you still hold that objective though because you have 2 or 3 guys on it. I think just 2 actually.
Mm-hmm.
Scoring you 3 points for the turn.
Yep.
Still down 3. Obviously we know Lumineth plays for the late game, and you're still have a chance to catch up in the late game. I have to have a big turn here. I have to really try and kill Teclis, get 4 wins on him. Big story is you won't be on your 2-up save because you've spent all your Aether Quartz now.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously going to do the best I can to take him down. And with that, we'll be going into bottom of round 3 in Deepkin turn 3. right, so finishing up Deepkin turn 3. Like we kind of predicted, I did get my Eidolon over and into Teclis, finishing him off, which was really the big key for me to kind of take the lead in this game. Obviously, I had the lead in points, but take the lead in terms of, turning the corner in terms of like trying to seal the game. So the Eidolon finished off Teclis, which was huge, which also, actually, you pointed out, pulled these guys out of the range for the Eighth Court's ability to do the double
Not that
plus.
it would have helped. You had 3 units going.
Exactly, and the 2 offensive heals buffed up with 1 extra attack from Volturnos. They wiped him out just with the spears, so that was no problem. And obviously, puts you in a really tough spot. Again, I'm scoring 7 points here. Ahead 10, like you said, and going into the priority roll. So this is going to be a big one. Tough scoreboard-wise. You still have damage output, like we were saying. You can still potentially chew through stuff. But the scoreboard is going to be where you're going to have a tough, if not impossible, time catching up.
Yeah, not having Teclis, I can't double move anything.
Yeah.
At most, I'll get 5, which only half, or no, I guess 6, because that's 2.
Yeah.
It covers half the thing, but then you're going to score 6 right back. So
Yeah, it'll be, The only other thing really that we're going to be playing for now is actually looking at our auxiliary objectives. Now, you've already scored one of yours in terms of killing this unit that was marked for death.
Yep.
It's going to be tough for you to do mass panic, but mine of Defender, which is keeping a unit of yours outside of my territory, and Headhunter, which is killing both your heroes, that one's still very much in limbo. And a lot of the events that we play, especially the ones we host, you get points not only for scoring your own objectives, but for denying ones from your opponent. So it's going to be worth your effort of just running a unit into here to deny me an extra point, right? Because that's another point for you. But priority roll comes first, so we'll start there. You're going to win ties. A 2.
I'll take it.
You win it here with a 5. So we'll be going into top of round 4 with Lumineth going first.
4 units left, 2 units of Sentinels, a unit of Wardens, and the Cathlar. I tried to make the most of what I had. We ran the Wardens over, killed a couple of defensive eels, took that objective.
Mm-hmm.
I moved these guys in and around so I was closest to shoot the offensive eels. Move these guys to shoot the defensive eels, trying to force a battle shock on both of them to hopefully get my mass panic.
Yeah, so I'll let you do that now. So, again, you're just trying to maximize your best chance at getting that auxiliary
the
objective.
game's over points-wise, but I can still take my secondaries, and I could possibly deny yours.
Yeah. So you killed one guy here, and I'm -1, but +1. So I need to roll a 6. Again, I don't have banners left in either of those units. So if I roll 6 here, he runs, and you need both these units to run. So 6. No, I roll a 1. So that guy sticks around. This guy's at -2. He would run. So this one runs. So you would... Here, you don't get your mass panic because you needed both units to run in the same turn. So they stuck around. And then obviously you killed both of these guys, so no chance of running here. But obviously you took your best shot at trying to get your auxiliary objectives.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process, you store 5 points, which, well, not bad. At this point, it's just too far behind, right, to catch up. So we'll be going into bottom of round 4 and Deepkin turn 4. Alright, so finishing up Deepkin turn pretty quick. Again, score is irrelevant to this point. It's you can't come back to this point, so I'm just going for the auxiliary objectives. Through Volturnos and my offensive eel here, they finish off your hero pretty easily. And then I just ran my Eidolon with command point to auto run 6. Get them as the Eidolon as close as I could to these guys. Pretty much at this point, all we're doing is playing for now 1 auxiliary. The last one we're playing for is whether you maintain this unit in my zone at the end of the game. If you do, then you win, or you get that point. If you don't, I get the point. So we're just fighting for that right now. Comes down to priority because you win it, you just run away and might be able to push outside of my zone, right? Or my threat range.
1.
A 4. So I'll win it. So I'm just going to move these guys real quick on camera and then just proceed to do my attack. So I think the best bet here is going with the Eidolon first. Probably the most damage output, so I'll go in with his spear. That one's cocked. 2's miss, and I don't have reroll 1s. So only 2 of 5 hit, which is not great. He doesn't get them on the charge. It's only Namardi and
But does he get it from being close to the other guy?
He only gives it to Italians. So he doesn't have the right keywords. But he has his wounding on 2s, so he has 2 wound at Ren 2.
So
and you have no Aether Torch left
6.
there, so...
I'm not going to cut it with 2 ones.
3 damage each, so that's 6 damage so far. His offhand weapon, the 3 out of 4 miss. 1 wounds at Rend 1.
So 5 saved.
Okay, and then he has 2d6 fish for 8 fish attacks. On 4s here. Much better, but unfortunately it's a bad attacks. And 3s to wound. I'll reroll that one. So 3 at no rend.
Takes 3, so that's 9.
9, yeah.
1 guy left.
That's bad, yeah.
I'm gonna take.
So here, you're going to be able to potentially be out of my attack ranges.
Yeah.
But I think no matter what, he's running to Battle Shock now, right? At -9, there's nothing. You have no heroes, so no way to pass that. He would have to swing at the Eidolon. But I think we can officially wrap it up there.
Yeah.
We were working through the auxiliaries, so might as well start off with talking about those. Do you want to take me through your two?
I feel like Mass Panic was a good one for this matchup, even though I didn't get it.
In the past, you've gotten to,
Yeah,
a lot of
there was
fails.
times you had, plenty of times where you had 2 units battle shocking. I just never had the 2
the
bravery
-2 or
up at this right point. I didn't cast it round 1 thinking that I wasn't going to, but then I ended up doing really well against those 2 units of eels. So
and actually killing some stuff and making me battle shock on my own turn.
yeah, I feel like
Had a chance with that one, but I still feel like that's one of the tougher ones.
really well. I mean, with Lumineth and like being able
Depending
to
on the
flip
matchup.
the
That's
thing.
true. For Lumineth,
the
it's
problem
a good
was
one.
you just got into me too early, and then I was constantly on the back foot running away.
And spread out, and yeah.
I feel like my deployment, so like you can't win the game in deployment, but you can definitely lose it, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's what did me in. If I had moved that unit, started it here, like just castled up in this one corner, I don't need to take the whole zone.
Yeah. It really let me try and deal with one of your... Like, Wardens, they dish out a ton of damage, so it really let me try and deal with them
Yeah.
before... Or without getting tied up by other stuff.
Yeah, they were out of range for protection of Teclis. They couldn't do the flipping up. I couldn't do any of the real good tricks.
And your other auxiliary was...
Mark for Death, killing the 6 eels.
So that was this one,
Yeah.
and you got that one pretty easily. Well, on round 2 or 3. Mine, Headhunter, again, managed in round 4 to get your second hero. And then Defender managed in round 5, with the help of a Battle Shock,
Yeah.
to kill that unit so that you're not storing, denying me that point at least. So, 3 out of 4 overall in this game. But you can see that, when you pick some of these are more of the a little more intricate ones. We're not doing like territorial where you have to hold your objective for 2 rounds or bait, because those are super easy, don't really add.
I don't think I would have got territorial on this one anyways. You got
That's
into
true,
round
yeah.
2. So maybe not so easy.
But generally those ones don't add as much tactical depth to the game.
Yeah.
And I think the auxiliaries, especially at events where or games where you're doing denying secondaries from your opponent, I think that's so important.
Mm-hmm.
It adds so much more counterplay to the game. I think I'm like strongly feel like that should be like a core part of the rules where that's always a part of the game. But obviously you can do that at home or in tournaments if you want to, or if you're running them. But yeah, so into the keys of the game, you were saying you weren't happy with your deployment.
No, I mean, I took first because I wanted to correct that mistake. Had I not made that mistake, I would have just given you first. You wouldn't have got into me really because of how far we start apart.
Yeah.
Not with anything meaningful because the offensive eels were way off in the corner. You could have deep struck and hit some whatever I gave you as the screen, but
I was set up for the turn 3 play.
yeah.
But you taking first gave me the opportunity for the turn 2 play. Yeah. But I don't think, other than that kind of like positioning, and that was pretty small, like a pretty minor mistake, really. Like, you only really, it's 1 unit that you lost because of, but I guess making you take the turn is really the downside to that.
Yeah, because giving away the turn, taking the double when you're moved up the field and can hit you with searing white light twice in
2
the middle
rounds
of
in
the
a row.
field instead of just at the fringes, that would have been the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, and realistically, if you had taken it, actually, you would have made me play more defensive. Would have moved up my defensive eels onto the objectives. Probably set these guys out so you wouldn't have gotten into them turn 1, but if you had done the double, you would have hit them turn 2. But even there, I'm fine. I think only getting the 1 turn being hit and then the potential of the double 2 into 3 isn't the worst thing in the world. I think really, for me, this was like a stark difference playing Lumineth on this mission compared to the previous ones we've done where you were able to cast it a lot more. Here you have to spread out more. I can take out some of the units that are off on their own and then get into, with my speed and positioning, and especially on the run and charge turn, I can get into Teclis and
yeah, the long ways
stuff.
Deployment is hard for a slower army.
Yeah. So the Aether Courts actually played a huge role in this. Again, you're taking Sire, and you're actually debating between two, but Sire is the best, I think, or we were talking about, is the best in more matchups.
Yeah. Venari is good against like the meta matchups, Zinch and Seraphon, but like
this is good against everything else. Yeah. And really, it was huge. Obviously, literally just this one unit surviving at more than half against 6 offensive eels, and then Teclis would have died if he was only +1 to save. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that Sire is big and just really cements that it's the way to go in the meta against most armies. Like, gives you, again, lets you survive a Deepkin onslaught or KO shooting. It's big. But other than that, again, it feels like this game was pretty much, outside of the choice of having to take first there, the game just played almost on its own. There wasn't any big surprises, I think, just kind of both armies doing what they do. Obviously, Lumineth struggling on the objective game to some degree. So with that, we'll wrap it up here. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's watched, and an even bigger thank you, obviously, to our premium team and all the members that have joined us there. Again, they had the choice kind of what matchup we had on the table today, and continue to do that every week. They help us kind of decide what armies are getting played and all that fun stuff. So again, big shout out to everyone who has joined the team over there. Again, if you're interested, you can hit the join button below and learn more. With that, we'll see you soon. Cheers.